Good evening. Welcome to St. Stephen's Bethlehem United Church of Christ Good Friday service. Tonight our service is a tenebrae service, or a service of shadows. Tenebrae is a prolonged meditation on Christ's suffering. This evening we reflect on Good Friday, on suffering and death, and the death of Christ for us and our salvation. We ponder the depths of Christ's suffering and death. We remember the cataclysmic nature of his sacrifice. This is presented by this congregation from afar, as we physically distant, yet together as one community. We present this to you this evening with candles and light and shadows.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees or will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes, when I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I would do is forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. when all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine.
Then Judas Iscariot, who was once one of the 12, went to the chief priests in order to betray him to them. When they heard it, they were greatly pleased and promised to give him money. So he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. On the first day of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb is sacrificed, his disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to go and make the preparations for you to eat the Passover?" So he sent 2 of his disciples, saying to them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him." So the disciples set out and went to the city and found everything as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover meal. When it was evening, he came with the 12, and when they had taken their places and were eating, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." They began to be distressed and to say to him one after another, "Surely not I." He said to them, "It is one of the 12, one who is dipping bread into the bowl with me. For the Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe to that one by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that one not to have been born."
Jesus prays on the Mount of Olives. He came out and went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. When he reached the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not come into the time of trial." Then he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, knelt down, and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." Then an angel from heaven appeared to him and gave him strength. In his anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down on the ground. When he got up from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them sleeping because of grief. And he said to them, "Why are you sleeping? Get up and pray that you may not come into the time of trial." the betrayal and arrest of Jesus. While he was still speaking, suddenly a crowd came, and the one called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He approached Jesus to kiss him, but Jesus said to him, "Judas, is it with a kiss that you are betraying the Son of Man?" Peter denies Jesus. Then they seized him and led him away, bringing him into the high priest's house. But Peter was following at a distance.
Jesus Christ to pray, learn of Jesus Christ to pray, learn of Jesus Christ to pray. See him at the judgment hall, beaten, bound, reviled, arraigned. Oh, the wormwood and the gall, oh, the pangs the soul sustained. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of Christ to bear the cross. Learn of Christ to bear the cross. Learn of Christ to bear the cross. Calvary's mournful mountain climb, there adoring at his feet. Mark that miracle of time, God's own sacrifice complete. It is finished, hear him cry. Learn of Jesus Christ to die. Learn of Jesus Christ to die. Learn of Jesus Christ to die. Early hastened to the tomb where they lay his breathless clay. All is solitude and gloom. Who has taken him away? Christ is risen, meets our eyes. Savior, teach us so to rise. Savior, teach us so to rise. Savior, teach us so to rise.
When they had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and sat down together, Peter sat among them. Then a servant girl, seeing him in the firelight, stared at him and said, "This man also was with him." But he denied it, saying, "Woman, I do not know him." A little later, someone else, on seeing him, said, "You also are one of them." But Peter said, "Man, I am not." Then about an hour later, still another kept insisting, "Surely this man also was with him. He is a Galilean." But Peter said, "Man, I do not know what you are talking about." At that moment, while he was still speaking, the cock crowed. The Lord turned and looked at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said to him, "Before the cock crows today, you will deny me 3 times." And he went out and left bitterly.
Lord, have mercy. Christ, have
Christ have mercy on us now. For your name is great and your heart is grace. Kyrie eleison, over all you reign, you alone can save. Kyrie eleison, Lord have mercy. Christ have mercy on us now. Who is this God who pardons all our sin? So ready to forgive. You delight to show your mercy. Who is this God who pardons all our sin? So ready to forgive. You delight to show your mercy. Who is this God who pardons all our sin? So ready to forgive. You delight to show your mercy. Who is this God who pardons all our sin? So ready to forgive. You delight to show your mercy. For your name is great and your heart is grace. Kyrie eleison, over all you reign, you alone can save. Kyrie eleison, for your name is great and your heart is grace. Kyrie eleison, over all you reign, you alone can save. Kyrie eleison, Lord have mercy. Christ have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Christ have mercy on us now.
As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Pilate hands Jesus over to be crucified. Now at the festival, he used to release a prisoner for them, anyone for whom they asked. Now a man named Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder during the insurrection. So the crowd came and began to ask Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priests had handed him over. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Pilate spoke to them again. "Then what do you wish me to do with the man you called the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him." Pilate asked them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him!" So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified.
Sing with me, how great is our God. All will see how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great
He's worthy.
All will see how great, how great,
How great
is our God.
Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand, and knelt before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him.
O sacred hand, now wounded with grief and shame weighed down, now scornfully surrounded with thorns thine only crown. O sacred head, what glory, what bliss till now was thou, yet though despised and gory, you are mine. What thou, my Lord, hast suffered was all for sinners' gain. Mine was the transgression, but thine deadly pain. Though here I fall, my Savior, 'tis I deserve thy place. Look on me with thy favor, I need your grace. So sacred, head now wounded, covered in blood and thorns. Oh sacred, what is this love? Oh sacred heart that trembled, forsaken at the cross. Your sacred love is covered up. Language shall I borrow to thank the dearest friend for this thy dying sorrow, thy pity without end? Oh, make me thine forever, and should I fainting be, Lord, let me never, never outrun your love. Oh sacred head now wounded, covered in blood and thorns. Oh sacred, what is this love? Oh sacred heart that trembled, forsaken at the cross. Your sacred love is covered up. It is finished, we have a Savior. It is finished at the cross. It is finished. We have a Savior. It is finished at the cross. It is finished. We have a Savior. It is finished at the cross. It is finished. We have a Savior. It is finished at the cross. It is finished. We have a Savior. It is finished at the cross. It is finished. We have a Savior. It is finished at the cross. Oh, sacred, heavy bound, wounded, covered in blood and thorns. Oh, sacred, what is this love? Oh, sacred heart that trembled, forsaken at the cross. Your sacred love is covered up.
Two others also, who were criminals, were led away to be put to death with him. And when they came to the place which is called the Skull, there they crucified him, and the criminals, one on the right and one on the left. And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they cast lots to divide his garments. And the people stood by, watching. But the rulers scoffed at him, saying, He saved others. Let him save himself, if he is the Christ of God, his chosen one. The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him vinegar, and saying, If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself. There was also an inscription over him, This is the King of the Jews. One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us. But the other rebuked him, saying, Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong. He said, Jesus, he said to him,
Sure by now, God, you would have reached down and wiped our tears away, stepped in and saved the day. But once again, I say amen, and it's still raining. But as the thunder rolls, I barely hear you whisper through the rain, I'm with you. And as your mercy falls, I raise my hands and praise the God who gives and takes away. And I'll praise you in this storm, and I will lift my head, for you are who you are. No matter where I am, in every tear I've cried, you hold it praise you in this storm. And I remember when I stumbled in the wind, you heard my cry to you and raised me up again. But my strength is almost gone. How can I carry on if I can't find you? But as the thunder rolled, I barely hear you whisper through the rain, I am with you. And as your mercy falls, I'll raise my hands and praise the God who gives and takes away. And I'll praise you in this storm, and I will lift my hand, for you are who you are. No matter where I am, in every tear I've cried, you hold it in your hand. You never left my side, and though my heart is torn, I will praise you in this storm. And I lift my eyes into the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. I lift my eyes into the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and and I'll praise you in this storm, and I will lift my hand, for you are who you are. No matter where I am, in every tear I've cried, you hold in your hand. You never left my side, you know my heart is torn. I will praise you in this storm. Though my heart is torn, I will praise you in this storm. And I will praise you in this storm. And oh, I will praise you in this storm.
The death of Jesus. When it was noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, listen, he's calling for Elijah. And someone ran, filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink, saying, wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. Then Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. Now when the centurion, who stood facing him, saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, truly, this man was God's son.
Were you there when they crucified? to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Sometimes it causes me to tremble.